Hi, and welcome to the Miracles in Faith channel. I'm your host, Linda Kay. My guest today is Lorraine Snider-Hanley, and she is a special guest in many ways. She's extra special because she's my mom.
Well, hello there, my dear.
So, Mom, when you got married, we were talking about you being out of town, and your mom had all of these chores. So, did your mom come to the wedding?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Well, first of all, she didn't have the money. And second, I decided to get married by the following week. She would not have had the time. She had little children.
It was probably a relief that you were doing your own matchmaking, right?
Oh, it was certainly nice to make my own choice. Absolutely. I don't think she had marriage in mind for me when she sent me, though. Well, I told my mother a day after I got married, guess what, Mom? I got married. I got quiet on the phone. And she said, well, I hope you are going to be happy.
And I think that you were pretty much on your way to that. So, was your first year of marriage easy?
Adventurous. My first few months of marriage were adventurous.
In what way?
Everything is new. Everything is wonderful. Nothing is falling apart. My skin is good. I'm happy. Everything looks good.
Isn't that kind of how life is, that it just unfolds naturally?
Absolutely. Miracles are before us, but we oftentimes close our eyes.
You now, as a young bride, living in Montana with your new husband, and as your family now starts to develop, and you have a little boy on the way. Did Fred and his arrival come with any surprises?
Oh, no. We were expecting this beautiful child a couple months after we got married, and we're looking forward to raising a family. Yes, Fred was premature by 6 weeks also, as his mother.
So you have something in common with Fred.
Absolutely.
Besides being his mom.
Correct.
So what kind of business did your husband do?
My husband went into the business of hod carrying, and later on to become a plasterer as he finished his schooling.
Where did you live in the meantime?
Oh, I would hate to tell you how many times we moved. This apartment, another rundown house, another place to just hang your hat for a week or two.
So it was a while before you actually saw your mom. How long was it before you saw your mom again?
Approximately a year and a half later.
You went to North Dakota to just see your mom, or was there other reason?
There were other reasons we went to North Dakota. The work was calling in Williston, North Dakota, and Minot as well, there was work. So we left Montana and took our car, took our child, and
was there one child or was there more?
No, there was one, and then we were expecting another.
Okay, so now you see your mom and see the kids. They must have been delighted to see their nephew for the first time and play with him like a little doll. And your mom, was she happy about that?
She was totally overjoyed. Fred was her only grandson, and her first grandson.
That's pretty cool. So did you guys stay in Minot, or did you go back to North Dakota or to Montana?
We stayed a while with my mom, and until we found lodging in Minot. And the lodging was not satisfactory, so we decided to buy a trailer.
So now I understand from records that you had to have gotten back to Montana because that's where Sam was born.
Yes, we went back to Montana for a short length of time due to some issues going back on there with the families. And so your dad and I went back to Montana and, approximately for another year. And your second son was born in Montana.
So now you find that there's work and you get called back to go to Minot or to Max. So where did you live?
Well, we lived with my mom for about 6 weeks.
Was that easy?
It wasn't easy for her, and it wasn't easy for me.
Can you really ever go back home?
You can never go back to what was. You have to go forward to something new and challenge yourself to something new that even if it looks challenging, you must go forward.
So Dad was working in Minot at that time, so he was making that long commute?
That's correct. Well, the commute from Max to Minot was roughly about an hour. Travel time was slow because of the speed limit at that time. Plus you had bad roads. So we would read the road signs as we go by. Brill Cream was our #1 ads. So,
Brill Cream and Burma Shave.
correct.
Dad's making this commute, which was really long. He probably didn't like it one little bit, especially for as long as it was. But as he's traveling and he's commuting, he has this billboard moment. He sees something on one of the billboards. What was it?
He saw this huge sign, Purist Trailer Park. Buy your trailer, live in a trailer, travel with your family and your goods. Easy.
Well, that sounded like a good idea. What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing. That sounded exciting.
So now for the viewer and watching this, I have looked at pictures and I will tell you that I don't see anything exciting. And I may be wrong, but I didn't see something exciting about traveling in the trailer or living in the trailer with no indoor plumbing. How did you deal with living in a place with no plumbing?
Oh, that was easy. You go outside to a little place called the outhouse.
I'm clearly a city slicker. I do like having my indoor plumbing. So now you have a third baby on the way, and I'm going to ask a tougher question. And that question is going to have to do with things that could be very controversial.
So we'll be right back with our artist and author, Lorraine Snider-Hanley. But you've all been waiting and we've been pumping it up, saying that we've got the big reveal. So what could we possibly have to reveal? Well, we don't have just one. We don't have just two. We have 3 reveals today. So today we're going to announce that we're 2 weeks out from publishing. And we will be publishing on Amazon as a downloadable for 99 cents. And you'll be getting lots and lots of notices. So the second reveal is our form. So our forms have been just a little bit long. And we want to capture your attention and give you a little bit of a tease, but not too much and not too much of a reveal. So our forms are going to go to a little shorter format. We're going to be 15 minutes in total as opposed to our total of 30 minutes that we've had in the last 2 weeks. So that's going to make it easier for you to consume all of the things that we've got right here. And the third reveal is our website, Miracles on My Doorstep. And we'll be launching that next week and we'll be posting it. And so watch for our posts on either an email blast from me that you'll get from me directly, if I have your email, or you'll get it announced on our Facebook page, Miracles on My Doorstep. So 3 big reveals, 2 weeks out, our form is shorter, and we have a new website. And from that website, you're going to be able to order the books and go shopping in our little store. So watch for more. Now, back to our artist.
You're now having children and you've had a conversation with the doctor. You feel like you're having children too quickly, 1 year after another. So you've got three children, 3 boys, as a matter of fact, year after year. How was the doctor receptive to your conversation about something to slow this process down?
Oh, certainly not.
What was his suggestion?
I do know that his religion permitted him to declare no changes in the body, no preventions of any kind.
That's a frustrating thing to hear, you know, especially as a young mom, you know, and I'm sure that as a parent, you're thinking, how am I going to feed these kids? And what am I going to do? What kind of thoughts were going through your mind?
The first process that went through my mind was, Lord, you've allowed these things, and I know that I'm a very special person to be able to have these children. What a blessing that you have given me. Why am I looking at the hardness of this or the quickness of all these things? You will provide. That was probably the one issue that I had. And the next issue was the gifts that we have. Each child is a miracle, a miracle. Healthy children. You, Father in heaven, will guide me and protect me and guide me through what I need to do.
So did they get easier?
Well, I think it got easier emotionally. Physically, once you have 2 children, what's 5 more?
I don't know, a lot of bills, I'm going to say. But they didn't get easier. All of a sudden, you're in this, I think you were in the Wigwam Trailer Park, if I recall correctly. Is that the wrong place? What was the name of the trailer park?
You were right, the Wigwam Trailer Park.
Wow, that just instills great confidence in me right now. I want to go there. But Dad's work was kind of cyclical. And in the middle of winter, he's not outdoors doing his plastering. There was an opportunity in Fargo. How far away was Fargo from where you were living?
I believe it was about 350, 360 miles.
So rather than him leaving you with, you're pregnant and you've got 2 others, this third one's about to be born, he didn't want to leave you without the only car. So what did he do? How did he get back and forth?
Well, he'd get on the old highway and stick his thumb out and hitchhike to Fargo. He'd leave early Sunday afternoon, hitchhike, and come back either Friday night or Saturday morning the following week.
Depending on whether or not he got a ride.
Correct.
That sounds pretty harsh. So he would come home and pay the bills and do that. And how long did that go on?
Oh, for about 6 months.
Did it occur to you that you're being challenged?
No, I didn't look at it that way, but I did feel that I was being challenged, probably financially. And you learn to jiggle books and you learn to make some new numbers quickly. You learn to tighten your belt, deduct things that you don't need. And even though you wanted them and you thought you needed them, but you just take them out of your life and find something else, like reading. We used to go to movies occasionally. We dropped that because that would entail a babysitter.
So you cut out the extras and the fluff. So you ordered cable television, right?
Oh, they didn't. Oh,
What, no cable TV?
They didn't have TV in that day.
So Dad would call you from his cell phone and let you know he was on his way home?
Oh, sure. He'd call the neighbors, and the neighbors would make a trek to my door and knock on my door. He would call usually the little store within the park, and the store would send someone over to get me. And
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
So it doesn't sound like you were having your first couple of years as easy living, but somebody suggested to you that it would be far easier to warm that trailer and keep things going there if you put some hay bales underneath the trailer and put a skirting around it to keep that warm. It did stay warm, didn't it?
Oh my, if we get down to 40, 50 below, and that's without the wind factor. Someone said, Bill, have you ever thought about putting straw or hay bales under your trailer and then putting a skirt around it, and that'll keep it real warm.
And did it?
Oh, yes. Kept it so warm we got a house full of mice by spring.
What? Mice? How did you discover mice?
Oh, my clothes were all chewed up. I'd open the oven and these little eyes would peek out at me. Eek. I'd open the cupboards. Eek!
They were easy to get rid of, weren't they?
They sure were. We pulled the hay out of there, pulled the trailer out and sold the trailer to someone else. And
Well, not before you got rid of the mice.
Well, they fell out as the trailer was moving, I'm sure.
So you as I recall, had to go and stay with your mom a while that trailer got fumigated.
No, for about a week.
Okay, but it was particularly cold.
Very, very, very cold.
How cold does it get in the winter, the worst of winter?
Well, I've seen it get 60 below without a wind factor and a chill factor.
That is really cold.
That's cold.
That's dangerously cold. I think of Dad being on the highway, and I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle that he didn't freeze himself to death. You must have thought in some way that this is a fairly challenging circumstance. You're living in a trailer that you seem to be outgrowing by the kids there and the number of kids arriving, and in all there, before that trailer was sold, how many children were born?
4 children were born in the 28-foot trailer, 28-foot trailer with 1 bedroom, 1 kitchen, and 1 table that made into a little bedroom in the front. But it was sufficient until while the children were small.
Now you've thought about, I've had 3 kids and successively 3 boys. There must be some longing in here for you to want a girl.
You sure said the right words. A little girl would be such a blessing. Oh my goodness, Lord, if I can just, if this is to be, please allow me to have a little girl. Well, May 8th, 1950 something.
4. I would
54.
say 4, and of course that's my birthday. But you all know how old I really am. But you must have been overjoyed.
Totally, what a blessing. This beautiful, black-haired, long-haired child is my little love, my little dove. I did not expect a miracle to land on my doorstep. Here you are, you lucky thing. But I did expect my Father in heaven to show me the way and the way to go and what I needed to do to change things and to make things easier for the family, for my husband, and for living. Well, I told my mother a day after I got married, guess what, Mom? I got married. He got quiet on the phone. And she said, well, I hope you are going to be happy.
So you now, as a young bride living in Montana with your new husband, and as your family now starts to develop, and you have a little boy on the way.
My first few months of marriage were adventurous.
In what way?
Everything is new. Everything is wonderful. Nothing is falling apart. My skin is good. I'm happy. Everything looks good.
Isn't that kind of how life is, that it just unfolds naturally?
Absolutely. Miracles are before us, but we oftentimes close our eyes.
Did Fred and his arrival come with any surprises?
Oh no, we were expecting this beautiful child a couple months after we got married, and we're looking forward to raising a family.
Dad's making this commute, which was really long. He probably didn't like it one little bit, especially for as long as it was. But as he's traveling and he's commuting, he has this billboard moment. He sees something on one of the billboards. What was it?
He saw this huge sign, purest trailer park. Buy your trailer, live in a trailer, travel with your family and your goods. Easy.
Well, that sounded like a good idea. What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing. The first process that went through my mind was, Lord, you've allowed these things, and I know that I'm a very special person to be able to have these children. What a blessing that you have given me. Why am I looking at the hardness of this or the quickness of all these things? You will provide. I did not expect a miracle to land on my doorstep. Here you are, you lucky thing. But I did expect.
That's a frustrating thing to hear, and, you know, especially as a young mom, you know, and I'm sure that as a parent, you're thinking, how am I going to feed these kids? And what am I going to do? What kind of thoughts were going through your mind?
The gifts that we have are each child is a miracle, a miracle. Healthy children. You, Father in heaven, will guide me and protect me and guide me through what I need to do.
So did they get easier?
Well, I think it got easier emotionally. Physically, once you have 2 children, what's 5 more?
I don't know, a lot of bills, I'm going to say.
You can never go back to what was. You have to go forward to something new and challenge yourself to something new that even if it looks challenging, you must go forward.